So parallel lines look like two lines that have the same slope. Okay, put your iPads and phones up, Okay, two lines that have the same slope that never intersect. Okay, so if you think about railroad tracks. Okay, for the most part, railroad tracks like don't intersect. Okay, obviously trains would crash minus the meeting points. But they're two lines that look like this. Okay, they're two lines that look like this. They have the same slope, okay, but those lines are never going to intersect. Okay, whereas perpendicular lines do intersect. Okay, now the difference with the slope and perpendicular lines is obviously, if you can tell, like one line is positive and one line is negative. Okay, so the rule with parallel and perpendicular lines is so. Okay, so if it's parallel, means you keep the slope. Okay, you keep the same slope. If it's a perpendicular line, then you're going to flip and change the slope. Okay, so if it's parallel, the slope will be the same. If it's perpendicular, you're going to flip it and change it. Okay, and then this very first part, it just wants you to find the slope. Okay, so find the slope of a parallel line. Okay, to each given line. Hey, Miracle. Okay, so what if we're doing our parallel? Our slope is still going to be. Gosh dang it. Okay. Okay, our slope is still going to be negative 3 over 2. Okay, if we look at 3, same thing. Our slope is still going to be what? What's our slope? 3 over 5. We keep the same slope. Okay, 5. Still, it's parallel. What's going to be our slope? Negative 9 over 5. Perfect. Get off that dang iPad. What are you doing? Come on, man. Why are you doing it on there?
I get new quiz class.
Come on, man. I don't like grading on iPad. Okay, now let's look at the perpendicular. Okay, so what is our slope right now? What slope did they give us? Negative 3 over 2. So we're going to flip it. Okay, so it's going to be 2 over 3. Okay, and we're going to change it. So if it's a negative, it should be a positive. If it's a positive, it should be a negative. Okay, so they gave us a negative, which means our new slope should be positive. Okay, so it's just going to be m equals 2 over 3. Okay, 9. We got to flip and change. So we're going to flip it. It's going to be 5 over 8 and change it. So it's a negative, so the new one should be positive. And I don't normally do this, but look at 12. Okay, so I'm going to do 12 instead of 11. Okay, if we look at 12, it's 6. Okay, so how do you flip a 6? You're going to put a 1 under it, okay? So we can say 6 over 1 is still 6, okay? So now if you flip it, it's going to be 1 over 6. And we need to change it. So it should be negative 1 over 6. Okay, the negative, we talked about this, but it does not matter whether you put the negative here, here, or here, okay? But you can only put 1. Okay, it all means the same thing. Okay, flip your page. Okay, this next part says write the point slope form. Okay, what is the point slope equation? Okay, here is your point slope form. Y minus y1 equals mx minus x1. Ian, you all right? You tired? Okay, so what's happening here is they're giving you a point like so, okay, and they gave you this parallel line, okay, so maybe it looks like this. They want you to find the other line that runs through this point, okay, and so essentially what they're wanting you to find is this line. This thing. This thing. Yeah, I do. Okay, I'll send them in a little bit. Thanks. Okay, so that's what we're doing here. And the same thing with perpendicular, okay? They gave you a point and they gave you a line. They want you to find this other one, okay? Okay, so we're gonna label a point, we label x1, y1, and parallel, we keep the same slope. And so what is that slope of this line? It's gonna be -1, okay? And so we keep our same slope. And so this really is our m, and we're gonna keep it. So you're gonna have y minus, my y1 is 2, equals m, and my m is negative at -1, x minus, and my x1 is 2. Okay, 15, you're gonna say x1, y1, and this is a parallel, so we're gonna keep the same slope. Okay, so our slope is 3/2. Okay, do not make the mistake of using this number for anything. Okay, this number belongs to that line, and this belongs to this point. Okay, and so we don't really use this number for anything. They gave you the equation of the first line, and you're coming up with the second line. Okay, so people have a tendency to accidentally use this number. Really, it doesn't get used for anything. Okay. Okay, so we got y minus 1 equals 3/2 x minus -2. Okay, and that minus minus, we need to make it into a plus. What is our slope for 17? Is it 3 or not? No, it's not. Okay, if there's no slope there, and how you can tell is there's always a number with the x. So like this part has the x, that means that's our slope. Okay, the number by itself is really the y-intercept. Okay, so in this case, our m, or our slope, if there's nothing there, is a 0. Okay, so you're going to have y minus -2 equals 0, x minus 1. Okay, and we change this minus minus into a plus. Okay, 19, we got y minus 3 equals -5, x minus -1. Okay, and we're gonna change this minus minus into a plus. Okay, 21 is a perp. Okay, so we're gonna have x1. Gosh dang it, this board was getting better set. Okay, x1, y1. Okay, what is our current slope? 3/1. Okay, and so because it's a perp, we need to flip and change. So my new m is going to be 1/3. And should it be a positive or negative? It should be a negative. Okay, so this is the slope that you're going to use. Okay, so you're going to have y minus my y1 is -1. My new slope, okay, is -1/3. X minus, and my x1 is 2. We're going to change this minus minus into a plus. Okay, 23. Same thing, it's another perp. So you're going to flip it. So you're going to get 7/1, and you need to change it. So it should be a negative or positive? Should be a positive. And what is 7/1?
7.
Yeah, it's just 7, okay? Do we ever write 7/1? Okay, no, it looks goofy, okay? So, it's really just 7, okay? I'm not gonna mark it wrong if you write 7/1, but I don't want you to be looking goofy either. Okay, so you got y minus 2 equals 7, x minus -2. We're going to change that into a plus. Okay, same thing. You're going to flip it and change it. And so it should be 3/4. You got y minus 5 equals 3/4, x minus 4. Okay, you guys go through and get your sheet finished. You should have 13 problems due, okay? So on the front and back, double check, make sure your name's on it. And when you're done, put it on top of the box.